Good evening. Welcome to the big story. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Chiki Verhel.
And I'm Shawn Yao.
Tonight's big stories. The Office of the Vice President's confidential funds, or rather confidential expenses, raised big red flags again. House lawmakers find out that at one point they spent 1 million pesos for safe houses in just 4 days.
Senators say it should be the Senate Committee of the Whole who should probe Duterte's drug war, not just the committee chaired by Senator Bato de la Rosa, who himself told One News his loyalty to Duterte will go on forever.
And former election rivals Bongbong Marcos and Leni Robredo come face-to-face in Sorsogon today. A meeting that Senate President Chis Escudero says he hopes could be the start of healing.
Spending of the Office of the Vice President gets flagged again, this time over the lease of safe houses that cost millions and millions of pesos.
State auditors have no idea what the safe houses were for or what they looked like. All they had were receipts, which showed huge expenses between 2022 and 2023.
As it turns out, the money spent for these pricey rentals came from the OVP's confidential funds. Marian Enriquez gives us the full story.
Lawmakers are getting a picture, albeit still incomplete, of how Vice President Sara Duterte's office spent its confidential funds. Sifting through acknowledgement receipts from the Commission on Audit, the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability found that millions of pesos went to rental for safe houses. And that money all came out of the OVP's confidential funds. In 2022 alone, the year COA confirmed that the OVP spent its 125 million peso secret budget in just 11 days. The office spent 8.75 million pesos for safe houses over a 3-day period starting December 27. One safe house costs 1 million pesos from December 28 to 31, or just 4 days. For the figures to add up, it looks like rental for these temporary shelters could have easily been between 250,000 pesos to 1 million pesos. This had lawmakers wondering, what kind of safe houses are these, and why did they cost much more than stays in 5-star hotels, luxury resorts, or an expensive condo in Metro Manila?
May swimming pool po ba tong safe house? May wifi? Sa BGC? Hindi po ba kayo nagtaka kung bakit ganun kamahal?
It doesn't end there. The year after, in 2023, the OVP's confidential expenses kept on going. 16 million pesos each for the first 2 quarters. The 16 million peso figure also did not change as per records submitted to COA. Only the number of days the amount was spent did. 11 days in the last quarter of 2022, 53 days in the first quarter of 2023, 67 days in the second quarter, and 79 days in the third quarter of last year. The next question is, what were the safe houses for, and why were they so expensive? Lawmakers and state auditors could only guess as not one representative from the Office of the Vice President showed up in today's hearing.
In other words, the COA relies only on the documentary evidence of payment, mainly. Tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yun lang ang basehan ninyo.
Yes, Mr.
And yung
Chair.
documentary evidence of payment, whether it is a lie, a truth, reasonable or unreasonable, you do not care. That is what you're trying to tell us.
It is since it's just compliance, sir.
In a position paper it submitted, the OVP said the hearing is unnecessary. Therefore, the attendance of its officials and personnel is not needed. But the House Committee is not taking the OVP's explanation just like that. It has sent subpoenas to 6 officials of the OVP, compelling them to attend the next hearing. Vice President Sara Duterte is not one of the 6 subpoenaed, but her Chief of Staff, Attorney Zulaika Lopez, is. The panel will also ask the Justice Department and the Bureau of Immigration to put out a lookout bulletin order against them. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
So should the Senate take up an investigation into former President Duterte's drug war is the big question hounding the upper chamber now. The idea of Senator Bato de la Rosa leading it is a clear conflict of interest, as others have pointed out. So, Senator Risa Ontiveros says it should be the Senate as a whole. Mobile journalist Kyla Macantan has that story.
It's the Senate Committee of the Whole who should investigate former President Duterte's drug war, not just Senator Bato de la Rosa's committee. That's what Senator Risa Ontiveros had to say when she was asked for a reaction to de la Rosa's plan to launch a parallel investigation into the war on drugs that he himself led at one point. De la Rosa chairs the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs in the Senate. The difference is that a Senate Committee of the Whole is presided over by the Senate President, not the committee chair. Reporters caught up to Senate President Chis Escudero at the inauguration of the Sorsogon Sports Arena earlier today, and he was asked about it.
Pero nakausap ko na si Senator Bato kaugnay niyan. At ang sinabi ko sa kanya, anumang investigasyon na nais niya patungkol sa kanya mismo. At kay Senator Go, mas maganda siguro kung hindi sila mismo ang manguna ng komiteng yun. Para walang aligasyon na ito'y personal at hindi impartial at hindi fair. Yun ang haharapin namin siguro sa mga susunod na araw.
Senator Go himself has said he's willing to push for a similar investigation. But Escudero says De la Rosa was amenable to the idea that he won't be the one to lead any hearings on the drug war.
Okay naman sa kanya. Nagkapalitan kami ng text kagabi. Pero isasa-formal ko ito sa mga susunod pang araw. Magkikita kami itong weekend pagbalik ko matapos ng kinailangan ko lamang gawin dito sa Sorsogon.
As for Senator Amy Marcos, she says it's best to take the case to court instead of doing a parallel motu proprio investigation in the upper chamber.
Senate investigation, kinakabahan ako na masabihan na self-serving. Tapos mag-uumpugan lang kami ng ulo ng Congress. Dali na natin sa korte kapag sapat na. Let's bring it to court so that hindi masabihan that it is partisan or self-serving or otherwise untruthful.
The idea of a Senate probe came up on the back of damning testimony by former Police Colonel Regina Lay, who at last House Squad Committee hearing directly implicated former President Duterte to the drug war killing. She claimed there was a Davao model that Duterte had ordered replicated nationwide with cash rewards per kill. Marcos believes authorities now have enough evidence to go by to take the case to the court.
DOJ is competent at this point to make a case with the help of CIDG, with the help of the NBI. Perhaps prosecution is in order. Ang tagal na eh. At alam naman natin as cases linger, the evidence grows cold and the testimonies become stale and the witnesses disappear. So, kinakailangan dalian na talaga.
Both De La Rosa and Go have denied the existence of the reward system that Garma was talking about, though De La Rosa later said Go did give out cash allowances to police officers. House leaders have slammed the idea of De La Rosa leading a drug war probe, with Congressman Benny Abante saying De La Rosa, who was Duterte's first PNP chief, will be more biased than balanced. Likewise, De La Rosa doesn't think much of the Quad Committee.
The pressure on me is nasa konsensya ko na nakikita ko na sumusobra na yung kasinungalingan na sinasabi dyan sa lower house. Kaya kailangan natin naman somehow, tingnan natin sa Senado kung magiging consistent ba yung sinasabi nila. Kasi meron tayong ibang perspective, merong ibang point of view na i-inject dyan. So, malaman natin.
Mobile journalist Kyla Macantan, we are One News.
Now the question is, what if former President Rodrigo Duterte refuses to attend if the hearing isn't going to be led by Senator Bato de la Rosa? Minority Leader Senator Coco Pimentel told us on Sa Totoo Lang that this shouldn't be a problem.
Di ba, hindi naman dapat hostage yung Senado sa desisyon ng isang tao eh. Attend siya o hindi, kung mayroong mag-file ng resolution, i-hearing namin yan. He will deny, di ba? Alam naman aminin niya yun, di ba? Ano yun, at least yung denial, personal niyang gagawin. It will be on record at saka narinig natin yung denial sa kanyang sariling bibig, under oath pa.
On our other program, Storycon, earlier today, Ed Lingao asked Senator Bato de la Rosa how he could possibly be fair when he has professed undying loyalty to former President Duterte.
My loyalty sa tao na yan will go forever and ever.
Yan, okay.
I will sink and swim with President Duterte.
But I also have to ask, diba, if you're the one presiding over that investigation and from the very start, yun po yung position ninyo, wouldn't that put you in a conflict of interest? Hindi ho ba mahihirapan kayo mag-imbestiga doon sa witness kung mulat sa pool, meron kayong ganun deklarasyon?
Ang sabi ko nga, loyal, tanong niyo ako ng loyalty. Bakit? Gusto niyo maging plastic ako? Gusto niyo maging plastic ako? Na magpako niyo, kunwari ako sa inyo na hindi ako loyal. Loyal ako sa tao na yan. Pero mag-imbestiga ako, meron naman din akong function bilang chairman ng Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs na dapat kampanan. So I know where I stand. Sabi ko nga, I know where I stand.
Now, the new Sorsogon Sports Arena was inaugurated earlier today, but there was another meeting there that made the headlines. A smile and a handshake was all that happened between President Bongbong Marcos and former Vice President Leni Robredo, but even that, all 3 seconds of it, had the internet buzzing a lot today. Marcos and Robredo were supposed to share the stage, but Robredo had to go back to Naga. In the president's speech, he emphasized the need for unity to achieve effective governance.
Maaring may pagkakaiba tayo sa paniniwala at sa opinyon, ngunit alam ko na tayo ay pinagbubuklod ng iisang hangarin na may angat ang antas ng pamumuhay ng bawat isang Pilipino.
It was Senate President Chis Escudero, a Sorsogon native, who invited Robredo to accompany him in welcoming the president to the Bicol region. Attorney Barry Gutierrez, Robredo's spokesman, said that Robredo also has family roots in Sorsogon. Whatever their motives, Escudero expressed hope that the meeting could be the start of quote-unquote healing amid their political differences.
Tingin ko rito, unang hakbang tungo sa paghilom ng kung anumang sugat, anumang hindi pagkakaunawaan, dahil alalahanin ninyo, anumang debate o pagkakaiba namin ng pananaw ay politikal, hindi personal.
The PNP has made good on its threat and filed sedition complaints against members of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, including one of its lawyers, attorney Israelito Torreon. This is in relation to the police's attempts to serve arrest warrants to Kibuloy and his co-accused in August, which resulted in a tense standoff. Ria Fernandez with the details.
Apollo Kibuloy's lawyer, Israelito Torreon, SMNI hosts Lorraine Badoy and Jeffrey Celis, and several others are now facing sedition complaints. PNP CIDG Chief Police Brigadier General Nicolas Torre led the filing of the complaints before the Justice Department. Torre said the respondents committed or incited sedition during the serving of the warrants of arrest against Kibuloy and other fugitives at a Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City last August.
Cases na final natin today on same set of people, 13 people actually ang ating kinasuhan ngayon with other John Does and Jane Does. Ang mga in-knowledge namin doon, ang kanilang mga ginawa, like calling on the people to rise against the government, to prevent the police from serving the warrant of arrest, and many others. So yan ay lalabas naman sa pag tumakbo na ang pag-iimbestiga ng DOJ.
Torreon, who attended a pre-trial of Kibuloy's human trafficking case at a Pasig RTC, was not at all surprised by the cases filed against them.
General Torre has been threatening us even after the siege. Now he really truly did it.
For his part, Torreon says he does not recall having said anything that would equate to sedition or inciting it.
I was even at a loss as to where did I utter words that would incite to sedition. I was just defending my client.
As for his client's pre-trial, Kibuloy's request for hospital arrest was denied by Pasig RTC Branch 159. In their motion, Kibuloy's camp claimed that the pastor had existing medical conditions and that he was having a hard time at the PNP Custodial Center. The PNP, however, refuted this. The court did allow Kibuloy to visit a doctor or be hospitalized if needed. It also granted Kibuloy's petition to attend hearings online from the PNP custodial facility in Camp Crame. As for the Senate's request to allow Kibuloy to attend its hearing on October 23, Attorney Torreon said they have filed a motion with the court against it.
That is his right against self-incrimination. The cases are now in court. If you read standard chartered case, and even Senator Miriam Santiago argued that since the cases are now in court, the accused can altogether refuse to take the witness stand.
For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Up next, 18 years after his first Senate bid, former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson is going for it again next year. He joins us in the studio to talk about his decision to run and what has changed with him what has changed in his platform since.
Back, you're watching the big story here on One News.
240,000 SIM cards will be used to transmit the results of the 2025 midterm elections. The Commission on Elections says that is enough to cover the whole Philippines. They have tapped a company called I1 for secure electronic transmission services, and I1 in turn is working with the country's 3 telcos to provide the SIM cards. 120,000 will come from Smart, and the remaining 120,000 will be split between Globe and Dito. Whichever telco has the strongest signal in the area determines which SIM card will be used in the automated counting machines. Comelec says they have put in safeguards to ensure the integrity of the results that will be transmitted.
Mag-transmit ang Dito, ang Smart, ang Globe, alam na ng lahat ng watchers, ng observers, ng Citizens Arm, ng partido kung ano ang nakuhang boto ng bawat kandidato sa bawat presinto. So, makukonfirm na nila kung tama ang transmission na tinanggap ng bawat entities.
The poll body will also use satellite internet provider Starlink in areas where there is no signal or reception. I1 is mandated to deliver 7,000 Starlink units before the end of the year. The Comelec is also reminding all candidates for next year that they need to declare their official social media accounts before the deadline on December 13.
Well, one man who's made the official list of senatorial aspirants for next year is Luis Crisologo Singson, otherwise known as former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson, who happens to be here in the studio with us tonight. Good evening, Governor. Thanks for coming all the way here to join us live.
Yes.
Congratulations on making the list of 66 official senatorial candidates next year.
Okay. So sigurado nang nasa balota po ang pangalan niyo.
Hindi na aspirant.
Sure na po yun. Sure na.
Wait, first things first, Comelec is reminding all candidates you have to declare your social media accounts. Nag-declare na po ba kayo? No,
Wala
official?
pa.
Okay.
Abogado kong gagawa.
Okay.
My lawyers will do it.
Before the deadline on December 13.
Before the deadline, my lawyers will do it.
Why are you running? Why do you want to be in the Senate?
Well, I didn't intend to run. I only decided very late because I'm contented with my province because we used to be the poorest. Now we are the 5th richest province in the whole country. We used to be the most notorious. We're now very peaceful in Ilocos Sur with the help of our constituents. So I'm just helping others. We have a lot of projects. Like the modernization program of the government. It's a long-time program of the government to modernize our jeepneys into electric. And they sent the drivers to Land Bank to borrow money and put a down payment of 500 with interest. So nobody would like to do that. So one time I invited President Marcos to my
your office? Do you have a dealership?
No, in my new product, the Dongfeng. I'm now the distributor of Dongfeng, and the first third largest in China, but they're the best now in China as far as electric is concerned. Because of the batteries that they have, one charging can run up to 630 kilometers.
Yeah. Okay. Before we talk about the e-jeepneys, I fact-checked you just now. You're
Yes.
correct. Ilocos Sur is now the 5th richest province in the
Yes.
Philippines. Your total assets was to the tune of 21.5 billion pesos last year. So you're correct in that. But specifically, bakit po the Senate? I mean, you could have gone for LGU position.
Sanay po
mayor,
kasi, sanay
governor
po kami
again.
pagka Governor Singson,
Yes.
yung governor, you've been mayor, usually po nasa local post po kayo.
Yes.
Bakit
Oh,
specifically
it's
po
been-
the Senate?
Because of the project that I'm making. There are a lot of red tapes. I'm donating already a lot of red tapes. So several times, I am partnered with the big companies, other big companies in Korea. We have a factory, in fact, in Korea, which I bought it in, I don't know when. But we're doing a lot of fast boat, submarine, unmanned submarine, overcraft, and others. So and electric vehicles. So one time when I invited President Marcos to introduce Dongpeng cars, I mentioned to him that there is a long-time program of the government of electric vehicles, and it's not moving. So with your administration, Mr. President, it will happen, because I'll provide all the electric vehicles, electric tricycles, motorcycles. No down payment, zero interest, no guarantee for the drivers. The guarantor will be the mayors, governors, congressmen, the LGUs, or the transport group, or the any entity.
Yung mga kooperatiba.
Cooperative.
Saan po yung
cooperative.
red tape that you're saying that you encountered? Saan yung red tape?
Yung
Doon
red
sa
tape.
business po ninyo, sinabi nyo.
You said you want to run for Senate because of the red tape that you
Red tape.
encounter.
Like,
Where
for
is the red
example,
tape?
I've been, I said, I have a lot of partners in Korea. Even the government, like the Korean aviation industry. And US also heard about it. They partnered with me. So we are supposed to repurpose a jet to be donated to allies. But the beneficiary should refurbish that jet. And it costs so much. So all the countries wanted, but the refurbishing is 90 million. So nobody, all back out. And my partners talked to me, and we can do it. We can do it for a lower price. Only Lockheed could do it, but we can get some employees from the Lockheed. If you partner with us, we can do it at much cheaper. So we partnered. All they need was a request from the Philippines. It took more than a year, the request from the military. So it was delayed until we talk about refurbishing. We will donate 2 fighter jets. But we need a request. But the red tape, so a lot of red tape, it was too late when they signed it, when we sent it in the Congress, it was stuck there because Ukraine had a war already with Russia.
Okay.
So
Well,
it
how would
never
you,
happened.
some people would say, no, Gov, baka isipin nila, nako, syempre, sinabi nyo na nga, no, like the last time we interviewed you, sabi mo nga, negosyante na kayo. Of course, we're hearing all these programs. You actually have a platform, transportation and finance, which you said nung nag-file kayo ng COC. But some people, yung mga critical dyan, baka sabihin self-serving naman. Ano po yung pwede yung sabihin sa kanila para ma-kontra po yung impression na yun?
Self-serving. What do you mean by self-serving?
Kumbaga kasi dahil to help your business, ganon.
With the that's it's not a conflict of interest, not at all, because I am doing this for the people, for the drivers. So this is the story. Now, when I said that I will do it, I'll provide all, zero interest, no down payment,
No collateral?
no collateral, guaranteed only by the
LGU.
LGUs. So, where will I get the money? I borrowed it from Korea. With my partners. My partners there are also electric manufacturers. They call their group as e-mobility group.
And you will be focusing on ito nga, yung jeepney modernization,
Yes.
mga tricycle na lumang units.
Yes, all electric. So, I asked first, it was very hard for me because I went first to DOTR. It took them a long time before when I talked to them, they said yes. When my partner from Korea went there, they don't entertain them. Because, I cannot tell you the reason. Somebody's interested, I think, to supply them other companies. But anyway, it took me a long time. It took a long time. So, a lot of red tapes.
Sir, Gob, sinabi niyo po na qualified drivers, yun nga, need no down payment, no collateral,
Yes,
no interest. Have you defined sino yung magiging qualified drivers po natin?
No,
So not
transport
everyone.
The transport group, ang kausap ko, I'm talking to the transport group and cooperative.
So ito yung mga nag-consolidate na para sa jeepney modernization.
Yes, because it was consolidated already. Including those nag-strike. They like all the modernization. What they don't like is the consolidation. Because of consolidation, they'll take their franchise and they'll be the one to tell where to go.
Yung route.
So that's the only their problem. But as far as the modernization, the electric jeep, all of them went to my house already. They all agreed to get. So I told them to look for the cheapest because I don't want later on to, like what you said, I have no interest in making money on that because I have other businesses. So look first for the cheapest. They went to China, Korea, the whole country. They came back and told me 3 million is the cheapest. 3 million, but Governor, can we, since you told us that you're helping us, can we pay only 2,400,000? So I said, I told you that I want to help. This is only help. Instead of 2,400,000, I gave it 1,200,000. 50%.
So you're going to lose a lot of money on that.
For sure, I lose money there.
Yes.
So when my partner came to the Philippines, Governor, they were willing to pay 2,400,000, even 2 million, 1,200,000 will lose money. I have only one word. I said it already. We have to do it at 1,200,000. If we lose money, I'll take care of it, the rest. But anyway, we have a lot of businesses, so I said it already. I cannot. If I will change the price, I'll lose space. In Japan, in Korea, pag napahiya sila, papakamatay sila.
Yes.
So yun, quality talaga. Quality. So ako, di naman papakamatay. Mapapahiya na ako.
You're not ready to lose face, but are you ready to lose billions of pesos?
Yes.
Because that's what's going to happen. Okay.
The Miss Universe, they told me.
You lost billions
Nobody
there?
got Miss Universe, not even the government.
You got,
When they told me to get Miss Universe, they went here to talk to me. Of course, I have to talk to my economic team. And they said, sir, it's too late because 2016, patapos na eh. We have no more time to get sponsors. So madalian. That's good for our country, but we will lose money, sir.
Yeah.
Why? It's too late. How much? $1 million or more. Because we don't have any more time. Well, if we lost 1 or 2 million, I'm willing. Good for our country, okay, I'll do it.
Right.
So I went.
Yeah.
Gas first, $1 million. unrefundable. So, I'm not joking. So, I gave 1 million unrefundable. But no businessman would like that. If you don't understand each other,
Correct. Yeah.
they got the 1
Back to
million.
the mga e-jeeps, Governor, ready na ba po ito i-roll out or may na-i-roll out
Ready
na ba?
to roll out. Masirap gawin yan dahil maraming test. We have machines to test them. And the last test is crash test. Babangga nila. I've done everything as specified by specification came from DOTR. 22-seater, 6 standing, aircon. So the prototype is here already. They're using now, testing it
Pero
already.
as you said po, you're running into red tape, which is why you want to
Yes.
be a senator, so you
Yes.
can write the laws to cut the red tape?
Yes. Okay. When I go there, not only that,
Okay.
like the tupad. So my first bill will be the United Basic Salary, income. It's being done by other countries.
Yes, Universal Basic Income.
You
UBI.
remember, but you heard about tupad.
Yes.
Tupad.
Yan po yung
Only the
sandole, yung binibigay na cash for pay, di ba? Ay, cash for work.
Only the politicians can give, pili-pili yan. Now, gagawin kong batas yan para lahat makinabang. I'll call it Chabit 500. Everybody will have 500 below minimum wage. 18 years old and above, 500 each every month.
Ito yung bangko
For
sa
all.
masa po ba?
Yan,
Ito na ba yun?
Hindi, meron po kasi kayong...
Hindi, yung plano ko, pag nanalo ko, yun ang first bill ko. Dahil natulungan ko ng probinsya ko, kontento na ako eh. National na ito. So, the first thing I thought is national, how could I help the poor?
Paano
Yun
po
naisip
gov
ko.
yung ano? Paano po gov yung roll out ng yung parang bangko ng masa concept doon po sa Ilocos? Can you tell us kung ano po yung programa all about?
Yes. I did it already. So my program is just to continue. I did it in my town, Narbacan, which I only a mayor 1 term, 3 years. I did it already. We're giving away cards free with bank account, as credit card, it is credit card as a debit card. With bank account, they don't have to go to the bank.
Pero
Kami lahat na mamahala.
Pag sinabi po ninyong credit card or debit card, parang baka iniisip ng mga tao, first impression is, ano yun, mabubuhay kami sa utang.
Hindi. Libre nga eh. Lalong andar ang ekonomiya natin kung nasa bangkong pera. Ang pera, 77% walang bank account. 91% walang credit card. Tinatago-tago lang. Kung nawala, away. Kung hawak-hawak nila yung cash, nawawala. Nasasabong lang.
That's actually true. Financial inclusion is one of my advocacies.
Yes.
So you're correct. Majority don't have bank accounts. But
Yes.
Gov, the question there is, where will the funds come from? Where will the money come from?
Kwarta nila. Cards lang ibibigay ko eh. Kung ano yung lagay mo, yun ang
So linawin natin, walang load na pera yung bank account.
Okay.
Walang load.
Pero yun
Okay,
nga,
okay.
Gov, di ba?
Walang load. Bahala sila mag-load.
Pag credit card kasi, di ba?
Credit
Normal
card,
credit card,
kung gusto nila
babayaran
gamitin
mo
credit card,
every month.
mag-load sila.
Pero pag
So
wala ka
debit
ng
card.
pambayad,
So it's a debit card
may-
po.
debit lang
debit
siya,
card.
hindi siya credit card. Debit
Credit
lang.
card as a debit card.
Debit card as
Because they can use
Nasa
it
swipe.
worldwide.
Okay, okay.
Ang nagpapatakbo ang credit card natin, 3 lang. Visa, Mastercard, yun yung pay.
So
My card, I'll show you my card. Narbacan card.
Okay. Ang tanong,
Visa card.
ano po yung bangko? May bangko po kayo? Or may
Powered by Union Bank.
powered by Union Bank? Okay.
And also, I'll talk to other bank. And I have my own. I have a bank in the US, approved.
okay.
Vegan Banco International. I have a bank in Vegan. And I have a bank national made by Japan, Hitachi Japan.
Okay.
So we'll use that also to power
So
the other cards.
a big reason why a lot of the Filipinos
The
don't have bank accounts is because they don't have IDs. They don't have documentation.
Yes.
So how are we gonna solve that? Kung
Kami
walang
lang
ID.
gagawa lahat. Di ginawa ko na, ito na nga eh.
So bibigyan niyo po ng
Ang
ID yung walang
beneficiaries
ID.
nito, ang meron nito, yung mga small businessman.
Yeah.
Because what they do now, they go to the bank, nag-aantay sila doon.
Yeah.
Kung minsan nagsasara ang bangko 3 o'clock. Ito, 24 hours.
Yes,
Hindi
correct.
na sila
Pero
magbibihis.
how do we give a bank account or bank debit credit card to someone who does not have a birth certificate? Ano yung solution?
Well, standby lang sa kanila. Kung gusto nilang gamitin, like paying their bills or any bill, national bill, or magbayad ng kuryente, doon lang. Hindi na sila lalabas.
Minsan kasi mahirap
Just to
mag-open ng
clarify,
account.
hindi sila maka-open ng account because they don't have birth certificates or any IDs.
Yeah.
So how do we solve that part first? Because there's no bank.
Yung nga trabaho ang opisina ko because I have a telco company. So, sanay na kami dyan. Puro IT empleyado ko. So, ang anak ko na, yung congresswoman na anak ko, he's a graduate in Harvard and IT, siya ang gumagawa itong card. So, siya ang mahala lahat sa mga bangko. So, umandar ito. Igawan ko kayo, subukan nyo.
Okay. So,
and it's worldwide because it's visa.
So paano yun? Kunyari, Filipino citizen ka, base sa nasabi nyo before, no, 18, basta adult na Filipino, ay pwede kang kumuha ng card. So, matik ba na pag Philippine citizen ka, meron ka ng card?
Yes.
Ganun na yun?
Anybody who has this can use it. Basta ikaw mag-load.
Oo.
Oh, yung walang pera, lalagyan lang niya ito, mapapadala na niya. Ang beneficiary nito, what we call the overseas workers, hero, wala naman tayong ginagawa. Ito, pag binigay ko ito, they can send it straight to their families by not going out.
Sino po magbabayad ng credit card if they're unable to pay?
Credit card, hindi mo magagamit kung hindi mo lagyan. That's
So
why
debit talaga siya. Debit
So it's not a credit card. So
credit
it's a
card as a debit card
Debit
if you load.
Okay, not the traditional credit card is what you're saying.
Yes, but you can use it. I'm using this as a credit card.
Yes, we understand the concept.
Visa card eh.
Okay,
If
so
it's a Visa card, worldwide.
Yes.
Okay, so it's really what you're after is debit cards.
Debit card.
Okay.
Debit card.
Okay.
Debit card, kung ano ilagay mo, yun ang pondo mo. Kung wala ka, ano yung magagamit?
Gov, we need to talk about other issues. What's your stand on political dynasties? Pagdating po sa Senate, if you win a Senate seat, what's going to be your stand on political dynasties? I mean, as I understand,
Political dynasty.
As I understand it, your brother is running for governor and your son is running for vice governor.
Yes.
And 2 daughters.
When I was the governor, I don't like dynasty. My wife, when she was alive, he liked to run also. I did not. And I have proof. My sister wanted to run for congressman. No. He ran. I said, don't vote for my sister. It's on record. Don't vote for my sister. If you vote for my sister, nobody will believe me anymore. I lost credibility. Another sister of mine, he wanted to run for mayor because the people are pushing her. So I said, no. So I told everybody, don't vote for my sister.
Okay. So ano po yung stand natin ngayon?
You know what happened? Iba ang kinukuha ko, nagtatayo rin another dynasty. How many years? Pinalaki ko sila, kumukontra din. So, nagtatayo rin ng dynasty. So, ang tao, masama ang dynasty nung araw dahil ang tao tatanga-tanga pa rin. Hindi sila vote, takot sila. Ngayon, iba ng tao, matatalino na. Bigyan mo ng pera, ibuboto sinong gusto nila. So, it's no longer yung dynasty.
So tingin nyo irrelevant na yun?
Irrelevant ang dynasty. If kung gusto kanila, ibuboto kanila. Kung ayaw, baski bigyan mo ng pera, hindi ka buboto.
Okay.
Yun ang dynasty. Wala na yan. Anong nangyayari ngayon? 3 years, 3 term, ilalagyan di asawa nila, anak nila, di ganun din.
Okay.
Irrelevant na yung dynasty.
Last question na lang,
Nasa tao yan eh. Bakit mo paparusahan yung magandang gawa nila? Tanggalin yung magandang gawa.
Huling tanong na lang, Gov, no? Ubusan na tayo ng oras. Siyempre, Ilocano po kayo. So, I'm sure magkaibigan po kayo.
Hindi ko report.
Ilocano kayo. So, malamang okay kayo ni President Marcos, as you said nga, naiimbitahan nyo siya, no, para itry yung mga bago nyong offering sa business. Pero in-endorse din po kayo ni President Duterte. Ngayon po na medyo may hidwaan po silang dalawa. Paano po kayo pupuwesto?
Kaya nga, independent ako eh. Nung inimbita ko ni President Duterte, nagpasalamat ako. But I told him, I'll be independent. Pareho kong kaibigan eh. So, independent na ako.
Okay.
Para walang,
Para
hindi
walang
ako
away.
mapasama sa because, sinama ko si BBM. Ang gusto lang nila noon, Vice President. I was the one who suggested to run for President first, but if Sarah will file, you have to slide down. Because nobody could beat Sarah at that time, when we started. So he said, yes, they were clapping, all the leaders of the North. Si BBM, yes. The Vice President lang gusto niya eh. If you will slide down, you'll be protected. I have the leverage to talk to Sarah that you will be Vice President, you will be protected.
Right.
Yes, Manong. He told me, yes, Manong. But first, we'll fight for President. And I'm the President Mayor's League. Lahat pinasyalan namin.
Yeah.
Tuwan-tuwa siya because sabi niya, thank you, Manong.
Okay.
You're the President. Nung tumakbo ko, wala ako isang mayor. So, kaibigan ko pareho.
Right.
Independent ako.
Independent. Gov, sorry, we've run out of time. We're going to have to leave that there. Thank you so much for joining us, former Ilocos Sur Governor and now senatorial candidate Chavit Singson. We're going to pause for a very quick one, but right after that, we'll be speaking with Chris Nelson. He's the Executive Director of the British Chamber of Commerce on the upcoming Great British Festival. Keep it here. Welcome back. You are still watching The Big Story here on One News.
Here's a little something to look forward to for the weekend. The Great British Festival is back, taking place on October 19 and 20 this year at the Bonifacio Global City. It is an annual festival co-organized by the British Embassy Manila, the British Chamber of Commerce, and the British Council Philippines. Now, this year is extra special as it coincides with the UK-Philippines Friendship Day and marks 78 years of diplomatic relations between the two. British Ambassador to the Philippines, Laura Bofel, says the festival will celebrate the rich cultural ties between the two nations. Joining us tonight to talk us through that Great British Festival, we have Chris Nelson, Executive Director of the British Chamber of Commerce, who joins us live from the United Kingdom. Chris, it's great to have you back. Thanks for your time.
Yes, I hope you can hear me clearly, and good evening to everybody and your viewers.
Yes, we can hear you clearly. What can you tell us about the 2024 Great British Festival and what sets it apart from the ones before this year's edition?
So I'd say, first of all, we've managed, and we're very happy to say it's grown. Last year, when we revived it, we had 38 participating companies. We've increased that by almost 50%. We're now up to 56. We anticipate even more attendees. Last year was 50,000 estimated by the Fort Bonifacio Development Corp. And we have a rich and varied program. And this, as you rightly said at the beginning of your program, highlights on the 20th, it's the UK-Philippines Friendship Day, and even reinforces the close ties, and I would say continue to grow close, both through obviously culture, friendship, and increasing trade. So a much bigger event, and we're very pleased to welcome everybody from the 19th and 20th, starting at 10 a.m. until 10 p.m.
56 businesses, did you say? 56
Correct.
Participants. What are some of them? What can we look forward to?
So I think, first of all, of course, there's companies that you know, Pru Life, Shell, these are major companies, HSBC, but we also have local businesses who have UK businesses. BDO will be there, the Philippine National Bank, all of them have businesses in the UK, which also reinforces the close connections. We'll have local companies there. We have obviously providing food. We'll have Tao Protein, Tattoo Baker, these are shops. We'll have Union Jack Tavern, which is obviously reinforcing this. And these businesses, another one which we'll emphasize is CyberQ. Cybersecurity is a growing business. And I'd just like to say that now the UK and the Philippines, it's the 61st in terms of total trade between the two countries on a worldwide basis. And it's up to 2.7 billion. So major UK companies, we'll also have Land Rover there, along with Philippine companies that have close ties, as I mentioned, who are also members of our chamber. And that reinforces that in the UK, there are over 200,000 Filipinos. Now, of course, many don't have British citizenship. but constant relationships are growing. So these are the businesses we'll see there.
Chris, aside from the businesses, food and drinks, what can we expect from the event?
By way of entertainment.
Well, we'll have varied entertainment. We'll have a whole program emphasizing, of course, sport, football or soccer, as it's called in other countries, cricket, which is less known, but obviously is a well-known UK sport. We'll also have culture, as we did last year. That'll be brought to us. But also we'll have, groups. We'll have the British School of Manila. We'll have North Anglia. And then we're going to have groups, entertainment going on into the evening, West End. We've got spit. We've got improvisation. So it's going to be a very varied program. And along with it, we're going to have a pub quiz, which is a staple in the UK.
Yeah.
And, of course, a showing of British films. So overall, you're going to have a compendium of activity, excitement, people to take part. Obviously, those booths are going to be running their own activations. And at the same time, you'll see culture and entertainment.
Okay, Chris, I just want to kind of divert from the events this weekend a bit and just ask you, it is 78 years that we're celebrating for the friendship between our two countries. Where can you say we're at right now, and how does this reflect in Philippine-UK trade ties? Have they gotten better in 2024?
Oh, I think it's steadily increased. I mean, look, if you look at it, we've been working this as a chamber. I've been with the chamber over 10 years, and I've seen a constant growth. We've seen companies, and if I can just highlight, particularly in 2024, we've seen that continuing to grow. One aspect which I'll just highlight is we work very closely with a trade board called the Horticultural Development Board. They focus on the exports of beef and pork. And I'm pleased to say that, for example, pork exports to the Philippines for the first 6 months are up by 26%. And this is a jointly mutual benefit. It helps with food supply, which helps with inflation in the Philippines. And, of course, you access to high-quality UK food products. So that's just one example. And we're seeing a lot more interest. And one thing I'll just highlight, as you rightly said, I'm in Europe, and I will be going to the UK on 31st of October. And there's going to be a Philippine economic briefing when the economic team from the Philippines, that includes the Department of Finance, Department of BSP, Budget Management, and also the Special Officers, Secretary Go, will be there presenting on investment opportunities in the Philippines. And I think that's a reflection of the growing ties. And we're hopeful to keep growing and obviously get that figure up from being 61st in terms of ranking between the UK and the Philippines to a much higher figure. So yes, a lot of interest, but we can continue to do more.
Still in the growing ties, are you going to be providing opportunities for those who would like to study in the UK or maybe those who have not yet decided on studying in the UK?
Although we ourselves are past the studying age, really, but...
Well, not a self-serving question at all.
Not at all. Yeah, I think you can all, yes. But we will have actually a very wide selection. In fact, the highest number of companies is on education. And that reflects the fact that we have high-quality education. As I mentioned, we've got the British School, North Anglia. But at the same time, we've seen continuing growth of interest in UK universities. And linked to that also, let's not forget, the UK runs a thing called Achieving Scholarship, which actually supports scholars, particularly after an undergraduate course for a one-year program. So you're quite correct to say education is a key theme, and UK education is known through the world, and we're very pleased to see Filipino students taking advantage of that. And that also strengthens ties between the two countries. And there are now a number of Chevening scholars, and that has reinforced that. We work with the British Council as well, who are a key part of this festival.
Right. Chris, to that point about agriculture, the British Chamber actually was a huge proponent of the Anti-Agricultural Smuggling Economic Sabotage Act, which the President just signed into law 2 weeks ago. Basically, it penalizes, smugglers, hoarders, and cartel activities more severely. But what specifically is the British Chamber hoping to get out of this?
So, look, we're very pleased it was signed. Some of our members were also keen to be part of that. It was one of the priority legislations. And I think it reinforces a couple of points. The first is that it obviously wants to support the local sector, but also protects legitimate exporters and importers. And as we see, agriculture is a key, and food supply is very critical. And I would just highlight, back to your question, that it's pleasing to see that inflation has actually gone down again in the Philippines. And one of that reasons, and one of the key factors of that, is on food pricing, of which, of course, you have rice, but also you have, obviously, meat products. So I think you're quite right. I think what we see from this is that, A, it reinforces the agricultural sector, it protects legitimate exporters, importers, and also is a protection to the consumer that they're obviously going to be buying from legitimate, quality, sustainable food.
And any other legislation you're looking to push after this? What's the next thing?
Yes, thank you, Rick. We're actually looking to push two specifically. One will be the Cyber Security Act. We think this is a very critically important bill. I would commend already they've passed the Anti-Financial Scamming Act. But to reinforce that, we would like to see the Cyber Security Act passed. And we also would like to see the E-Governance Act passed. The British Chamber is proud to be an ARTA champion, an anti-red tape authority. And in that, one of the things we think will should improve is e-governance. When we've been working with companies, actually, that's always their question, how easy to do business, what is the issue of red tape? And in that, if we can do e-governance, I think that will strengthen the system.
Well, nobody's going to be disagreeing with you in terms of red tape and doing business here in the Philippines. Again, Chris, thank you so much for your time. Chris Nelson, Executive Director for the British Chamber of Commerce here in the Philippines.
Red tape seems to be the theme for the evening.
The theme for the evening.
I agree. Before we go, here's our big picture tonight. It's the traditional jeepney. Why? The consolidation program of the Jeepney Modernization Initiative has been reopened. Traditional jeepney operators that failed to consolidate and are now considered colorum are once again given a window of 45 days to apply. But LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadis said that unconsolidated drivers and operators can only join existing cooperatives and cannot form new ones. Also, newly consolidated drivers and operators will automatically be eligible for a 10,000 peso fuel subsidy. The LTFRB's decided to reopen the consolidation following a request from the Senate.
I just have to say, two themes for tonight, red tape and the Jeepney Modernization Program.
But again, red tape. I think Governor Chavez should be talking to the British Chamber. They seem to be aligned.
Well aligned.
Red
on
tape,
the
quite glaring
initiatives.
tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it's no one's going to argue with the...
I mean, just the fact that our two guests tonight brought it up.
It's constantly a pain point for a lot of businesses, red tape, right? That's a fact.
Right. On that note, that's it for the big story on this Thursday night.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.